Hey, welcome to the Sports Reverends podcast. My name is Dan.
And my name's Drew.
We're no experts, but we are
the Sports Reverends.
Hey, we are back for the Sports Reverends podcast. We got the coach with us. How you doing, Coach?
Coach is great. Loving the hot weather here in Winnipeg.
That's awesome. How about yourself, Drusif?
Doing pretty good. Just got back from a little mini vacation for our anniversary. But excited to be home.
Did you hit the links?
Hit the links. Golfed one of the best courses in Manitoba. I won't tell you what I shot. I did get a birdie on it on one of the holes, but
ooh, exciting.
Won't go any further than that.
And I'm doing well too. Let's get into some of the quick hitter news that's been up over the last few days. The proposed Dak contract that we were talking about, the 5 years, $175 million, has been put to rest as both sides has said that it was both false. The Cowboys have until July 15th to make a deal, or he will be franchise tag, making $33 million a year. Prince Fielder has been retired for 4 years. He will be the top paid player in baseball. I'm going to say that again. The top paid player in baseball at $24 million being banked this year. That's going to be wild. We're going to get into those contract talks in just a few moments, but we'll keep going. Tyson Fury is the current boxing heavyweight world champion and is interested in fighting his hero, Mike Tyson. He was actually named after Mike Tyson. So this would be absolutely legendary. I would pay money. I'm tuning into that. I would love to see I would love to see Tyson versus Tyson. 24 NHL returning teams will each play 2 exhibition games before playoffs begin. Teams will be allowed 28 skaters and unlimited goalies. The NFL has killed the pass interference review, and I'm happy about it. Coach is not happy about it. Drew, what about you?
I think they'll have to bring it back and do a better job of it, but I don't know.
Saints-Rams playoffs game. That's all I got to say.
I'm just saying that there's enough reviews as it is. The games are getting a little long. But let's continue. Soccer. We had to do this for Coach. Premier League starts on June 17th, and Serie A starts on June 20th. Aaron Jones, the Green Bay Packers running back, says he wants to be a lifetime Packer. And that's exciting news for you, Drew, eh? You want Aaron Jones lifetime?
Oh, yeah, he's a beast.
All right, well, before we get into it, guys, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever thought about how well your investments are performing? Have you wanted to understand how the stock market works and how you can look after your financial future, but have been unsure of where or even how to get started? Train to Invest is North America's leading investment education and training corporation, with the sole purpose of providing a new way of thinking about wealth management. Through teaching, training, and coaching individuals in both the art and science of self-directed investing, Train to Invest offers a complete education and training experience to empower families to begin their journey of planning for future generations through investment education. To find out more, look at www.traintoinvest.com and download our free ebook. Again, www.train2invest.com to find more information about our program and download our free ebook.
All right, we're going to the major leagues. Let's play ball. We're going to see the economic plan proposed by the league to the Player Association. Coach, can you just share what that is for some of our listeners that may not know the details and ins and outs of baseball's contracts?
Absolutely. Let's try not to fall asleep. I'll hit some of the major highlights, not go into too much detail. They want to start on July 4th, Independence Day in the U.S., so that's a big deal. 50-50 revenue sharing, they want to keep that. There's talk about an 82-game regional set with a universal DH. The players are looking to get that into the 100-110 range. 14 teams in the playoffs. They're hoping to have everything in the home cities by October. They also want to get the deal done by the end of next week. According to MLB, if they prorate salaries, teams are still going to lose over $640,000 per game. And just as a quick breakdown of where revenues come from, about 40% come from the gate receipts. Central revenue is about 25%. Local media is about 22%. Sponsorships are 11%, and the quote-unquote other is 4%. So the majority of revenues come from gate receipts, which could obviously be hit quite hard with COVID, with states still being shut down, travel being restricted, social distancing measures. So that's going to be very interesting how the MLBPA comes back at this, because there's already hints they are not happy about giving up more money. So in this whole idea of who was right, who was wrong, Drew, where do you land on this?
Well, it's hard, because these players sign contracts to play, and but I can see from both sides, right? Like the owners are giving money based on 162 games, and them having 81 home games to make money off ticket sales and vendings and stuff like that. But also, like, it's not really the players' fault that they're not playing 162 games. What I don't like is that, they're penalizing their most marketable, the biggest names in the game are getting paid significantly less, like, of their salary. If I'm understanding it correctly,
That scale looks, for sure.
Yeah, if you're making 20 million and up, and I know that's just unfathomable numbers that we're talking about, right? Yeah. But they're only getting paid 20% of what they're due on a regular year. So yeah, I don't think the players are going to want to do that. And I read a tweet from Brett Anderson, and it says he's a picture for the Milwaukee Brewers, and it says, interesting strategy of making the best, most marketable players potentially look like the bad guys, because they're going to be the guys that are getting the most hit, the hardest hit with the salaries, and they're going to want to hold out for more money.
Absolutely. Dan, what about you? What's your take on this?
Yeah, exactly. That is that the owners are doing a mastery job at making the players look greedy and making the players look bad. And for most people, just even slightly paying attention will automatically point at the players. The players are already making this amount of money, and they want to make more, and this and that, right? So they're going to look bad, and there's no way around that. And that's unfortunate, because to me, the greed is really with the owners, who I understand the total proper business way to do things is definitely prorate the contracts for how many games they play. That's perfectly fine. That's a normal business move. But if you are going to then ask the players on top of that to take another contract hit just to make sure that the owners aren't losing as much money, even though they're making money, don't get me wrong, but not losing as much is very sneaky way of doing it. But at the end of the day, right now it's just negotiations. That's why the players are outraged right now. That's why the negotiation. I think they're more outraged that the owners would even give this idea, and I think that's totally fair. They're gonna go back and forth, and at the end of the day, they're still gonna look bad. So I would say just keep negotiating. Go get your money that you deserve, and they're the ones that gotta go on the field and perform, right? So it's about their legacy too as players. So they don't want to miss out on a whole year, and it also kind of sets it up for the future too, right? You don't want it to set it up for franchises losing money for the future, and the effect that it'll have on the salaries and all that going forward. So they have to negotiate something and make it fair. And at the end of the day, players are always going to look bad. It's unfortunate. I'm on the side of the players, though, and the owners are the ones that are greedy.
So I will just argue the other side a little bit. 40% of the revenues come from gate receipts. There is no guarantee they're going to see any of that money. That's already being wiped off the table. So I get that from a player's point of view, and I will agree with you, Daniel, that the MLB the owners have done a very, very good job of making it look like the players are greedy. I mean, in the U.S., there's over 20 million people who are unemployed.
Yeah.
There's quote unquote hope that these temporary layoffs will be temporary, but we don't know what the economy is going to look like post COVID.
Yeah.
Those jobs may not come back. So for 20 million people plus, closer to 30, who don't have a job, to see people argue over millions and millions of dollars, it's a bad look for sure. And from the owner's point of view, their costs are fixed. Like stadiums are going to cost regardless of what if you're playing or not playing. Local sponsorships are going to go down. All that stuff. So you're looking at least a minimum 55-60% of your revenues out the door.
Well, you can't say that. You don't know about like they're still going to get lots of sponsorship from because they're going to be able to air it on TV and people are going to be tuning in and they're probably going to have higher TV ratings.
Your TV ratings are, but that's fixed. That's not fixed at a local level, right? Unless you're the Yankees who own the whole network. I'm talking about like the individual. Like in St. Louis, Enterprise will sponsor the St. Louis team, but are they going to give them the full rate or are they going to cut them hard because their business has been cut hard? So like the local advertisement is going to go down the tubes, especially in areas that have been hit hard by COVID. And so I think with baseball is one of the weirdest relationships between owners and players. Like the strikes in '94 were unnecessary, to be honest. And you have there's a lot of mistrust between both sides. Also, another thing to consider that really hasn't been put out there is that the union contract between the MLB and the PA is done at the end of 2021. Right? So the owners could be looking to set this year up as, hey, save me some money, and then next year try to hit them hard again in negotiations. So I see both sides. Again, it's billionaires versus millionaires, and to the everyday person, it's just like you guys are being absolutely ridiculous. But I can see how both sides want to make the most out of this. And if from what I've been reading, we go to 110 game schedule, I think that'll make it easier for the owners to say, okay, we will concede on this because we're getting more games at the end of the day. But I just don't want to see baseball in November. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't think it's possible because there's so many cities that just can't have baseball in November.
This is what I'm saying. Like, you have to find a way to compact the season, right? Like baseball is one of the few games you can go doubleheader, and it's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, any last thoughts on that, Drew?
No, but I'd love it if they book some doubleheaders. I love watching doubleheaders, like day nights, and it reminds me of playing back in the day. So
how do you think that's going to affect the players for the season, having so much condensed baseball?
I think it'll actually help them in the long run. Teams will be able to use probably shorter rotations of their pitchers. Because when we get down to the playoffs, teams go down to 3-4 max starters. In a regular season, teams using 5 or 6. So in a condensed season, you can use your better pitchers more often because they're not going to log the 200 innings that they normally would.
True.
Over 162 games. 162 games, you're looking for 32 starts out of your best pitchers.
Right.
So you take a third of the games off, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking at 20 starts. You can use them every 4 games if you want, depending on how you still want them to have their regular rest.
Right.
But I'm sure the games will be spread out.
Yeah.
So do you want to touch on, Drew, here? The universal designated hitter is most likely to be agreed upon. You want to share about that?
Well, this is long overdue for baseball. Like, for those that don't know, like we have conferences in in basketball and hockey, East and West. We have National League and American League, and they actually play with different rules where the National League allows their pitchers who don't work on hitting to be in their lineup, whereas the American League has a designated hitter, a guy who's in there to hit, doesn't play defense, so the pitcher doesn't have to hit. And I just think it's long overdue. There's baseball purists that think having the pitcher hit is the way to do it. But for me, it's like it's just an automatic out most of the time. Like you get every once in a while you get
tons of home runs, right?
Right. Every once in a while you get like the Bartolo Colon accidentally hitting a home run and having to watch him waddle around the bases. But for the most part, like in the American League, we've loved seeing like Big Papi, famous designated hitter, like having it's the era of the long ball, just like basketball is moving to the 3-pointer. Yeah. Baseball is moving to the era of the long ball. You either hit a home run, you strike out, or you walk. And I just think having a pitcher going up there to hit, it's also a liability on them. Like it puts them in harm's way. They're facing 100-mile-an-hour pitches.
Right.
And if another team wants to take revenge on you, they throw at your pitcher. He's hurt. But yeah. I like it. I think it's long overdue.
Do you think that getting a DH in the NL is going to shift strategy-wise? Because I've always heard the myth that with this pitcher coming up, you get all sorts of strategy about subbing guys in and out.
Yeah, like
will that matter, you think, in the long run?
I don't think it will. I think it's going to help some of the National League teams.
They're going to hit more home runs.
Well, and they can also hide players that might be bad on defense that they want to get into their lineup.
Right.
I'm thinking of a Kyle Schwarber from the Chicago Cubs in the World Series. In the World Series, in the American League games, when he was on DH, they would play him, and then they wouldn't play him on defense because he was hurt that year, and they didn't want to get him hurt. He's also a below-average defender, but there's teams like that that'll have guys that it's an extra job on the team as well. Yeah. And but the strategy thing, the bunt is sort of gone in baseball, and that's the strategy you're thinking of is you want your number 8 hitter to get on base, your pitcher bunts him over, and you have a guy in scoring position. But with this era of baseball, everyone's swinging for the fences. That's sort of out the door anyways.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
All right. Well, let's hear, before we go any further, let's hear another word from our sponsors. With no sports to watch on TV, esports have been shooting off the charts. What are esports, you may ask? Well, basically, it's competitive video gaming. Esports are fun to watch, and my favorite gamer to watch is a guy named Vandalized. Vandalized plays a variety of consoles and games, including the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. What makes him so unique is that he plays these games with the controller upside down. It is a talent unlike any other. You can check his Twitch stream out, and you can find the link in the Sports Reverends Instagram bio, or you can search him up on Twitch, Vandalized, with 2 Z's or Z's. His control will be upside down. All right, let's get into the NFL. There's been this wide debate going on over Twitter, and there's been beef between. It started with Davante Parker and Michael Thomas, and who wants to be the best. And just recently, DeAndre Hopkins weighed in, and he said this: "I definitely think I'm the best." He said this on Thursday on the Jalen and Jacoby show. He says, "I know I'm the best. Mike's my boy. I love Michael Thomas, but he knows if I had Drew Brees my whole career, what those numbers would be." Falcons wide receiver Julio Jones knows if I had Matt Ryan my whole career, that's my boy. I trained with Julio. He knows what these numbers would be. So this begs the question, who is the best wide receiver in the game? And what we're going to do is we're going to go through the Sports Reverends top 5 receivers. And since there's three of us, there's not going to be any problem if we run into a situation because we're going to vote. And because there's three, hopefully it'll work out. If we all have a different person, well, I don't know what we're going to do.
This might not work out the way you think it's going to work out.
This might not work out.
I think we can all agree on number one.
I am a man of faith, and I think it's going to work out. So let's go. We're going to see. Start number one because I think I don't want to say who it is because now you said it, Drew. I'm nervous. Who is the number one receiver in the
Jerry
NFL?
Rice.
Jerry Rice. Milt Stegall.
Okay, let's start over. Current NFL players and not Canadian Football League players. Shout out to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, defending CFL champions. Sorry. Who is the top NFL receiver today?
I will stick my neck out on this one and go with Michael Thomas.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Hot take. I know.
Hot take.
It is debatable.
No, it's not, actually.
I'm going Michael Thomas, too. I think it's debatable.
It's not debatable.
Antonio Brown, I'm just saying.
He's got to be in the NFL.
Julio.
No, he's got
Just
fewer
because he
receptions
has
per game.
amazing stats doesn't make him the best.
Yeah.
How? Okay.
What else?
He literally is targeted the most out of any one of them.
But who
That's
cares?
the game plan.
I would
speaks
argue
great.
that makes it more incredible. Teams know coming in that Michael Thomas is over there. Teams know that they're targeting him more.
Cool. They also have a myriad of offensive weapons.
Who?
Okay, but let me flip it to you this way, okay? If a team's coming in and they know they have the opposing team has an amazing cornerback, like Richard Sherman in his prime, right? He just shuts down the half field. Guys aren't even going to look to throw that way anymore. So his stats are not great because there's not getting many pass whatever, but they know because he's so good that they're going to look the other way. And that's what we're saying about Michael Thomas. He is so good, and despite the game plan, despite everybody knowing where the ball is going to go, he still gets it. How can you argue against saying so?
Well, it's just you can argue that okay, the offensive line for the Falcons isn't good. That's why Matt Ryan has trouble getting to Julio all the time. Or like there's so many things in football, right? Talent-wise, you have to look at it as if you had the same quarterback, the same set of skills, are you taking Michael Thomas? I am taking Michael Thomas. I'm just saying there's a debate to it. It's not.
I think there can always be a debate, but
I don't think you can hold the player's quarterback against him. Like the fact that Michael Thomas, he gets to play with one of the best quarterbacks ever, but still he has to produce. He has to get open. He has to do the job.
I think one of the biggest stats to look at is percentages of drops. Right?
There's so much advanced stats too, though. You can see how many players double teamed and all that. And
Michael Thomas had 185 targets. The dude had 6 drops.
And and that's also 45 more targets than the second guy who is Mr. DeAndre Hopkins.
It's actually Julio Jones.
Julio Jones.
With 157. And he had 4 drops. So, I don't know.
Okay. We said Michael Thomas. I'm good with Michael Thomas. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's an option. Yeah, it's always going to be an argument.
If Antonio Brown was there, I think Antonio Brown might be the best player in the league right now.
Based purely on skill, probably.
But yes,
the circus surrounding AB.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Okay, so number 2. Who do we got at number 2, Drew? Coach said number 1.
Well, aren't we all giving our?
You're starting first though.
Oh, I'm starting first for number 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
It gets tough. It gets so because I just think Michael Thomas is so much better. I think he's almost in a league. we should have a different list.
I would put Julio right there with Michael Thomas, and if there's a pyramid tiers, those two on top. That's me.
But I think Julio's on the regression. I think Michael Thomas is still getting better. Like if we're asking which wide receiver I want on my team, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm this for one more season. One
Okay.
season.
For this season.
Yeah.
I'd still put Julio there.
Yeah.
Number 2.
I'm Julio.
I can get behind that pick. I have Julio Jones written down as number 2 on mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 3, I'll go.
Sure.
I don't know, but I'm gonna say something.
If you say Amari Cooper,
No.
I'm not
gonna say Amari Cooper. not at 3. Not at 3. I am gonna say Tyreek Hill at 3.
Ooh.
Because he has a speed like no other. And
I had Chris Godwin.
wow.
Yeah.
I don't have Chris Godwin in my top 5.
That's
Really?
You're misinformed then.
Who do you got, Drew? My debate was I won't say anything.
I'm gonna say Davante Parker.
Yeah, man.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say DeAndre Hopkins.
To put up the stats that he did in the situation that he was in last year, I think is pretty incredible.
He's only had one good year.
It doesn't matter. We're talking about right
Who
now.
do you want going?
No, but will he have another good year like that?
He's got Tua.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got Tua.
Am I sold on Tua
You should be.
Tagovailoa?
You should be sold on Tua.
I'm not. Because his situation is not great.
Ooh, there are many Miami fans out there who are not happy with you right now.
Okay, so what do we do here, boys? We got the right answer, Tyreek Hill.
Make your case for Tyreek Hill again, because you just said he was fast. I don't understand how that's your case.
No, I never said he's the fastest. And
Yeah, but that only works if you have an arm like Patrick Mahomes.
well, he also come on, you're gonna say he's not a great route runner and reliable.
I don't know if
hands.
he's a great route runner. Is he?
He can run straight. Big deal.
No, he is a great route runner.
Okay, but he had a terrible year last year.
No, it's not terrible. They just share the ball.
I don't see him on this list. 31 in yards, receiving yards. 31st in
31
total
receiving yards.
No, 31st in total receiving
I know.
yards.
Well, it's because look at the Kansas City offense, right? They're so powerful. They have money going everywhere, right?
He played 12 games last year.
That too.
That's a durability issue.
So who do you guys got? We can throw in DeAndre Hopkins there too.
I'll side with Joel with Chris Godwin. I like that.
Oh my goodness.
Boom.
Okay. Well, I'm outvoted, so we're going Chris Godwin at 3. Who's number 4? I'm just upset, so don't even talk to me right now.
I don't mind the Davante Parker there,
Oh my god.
just because I think I agree with Drew in the fact that he had a terrible situation, absolutely terrible,
No O-line.
and he still managed to pull in 1,200 yards.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Which is just absolutely insane. He had the same amount of touchdowns as Michael Thomas with 9.
That's because the Saints punch it in. Michael Thomas gets them up the field.
I mean, you can say whatever you want to massage the numbers, but still, the guy produced with nobody throwing him the ball.
We don't know. What do you mean? Ryan Fitzpatrick's a boss.
I wouldn't say Ryan Fitzpatrick is hot and cold as it gets.
Fitz Magic Man.
First year in New York, great. Second year, sucked. First year in Miami, great. Second year is going to suck.
Okay, you guys said Davante Parker is our 4th top receiver in the entire league. So who's on number 5, Drew?
You didn't say that guy though?
I already said my guys got kicked out already, so just Go ahead, Drew. I'm upset. This is greatly upsetting
I'm
me.
going to go with Davante Adams.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Number 5.
Ooh.
We
Yeah.
got DeAndre Hopkins. We got Mike Evans still.
Got Keenan Allen up in there.
Amari Cooper.
You guys don't need to agree with me.
Joel, what do you got?
Davante Adams has the same deal going on, I think, as Michael Thomas. Like, he's not at that level, but he comes into every game. Like, can anyone name another receiver on the Green Bay Packers?
Yeah.
He still produces.
Geronimo Allison, Valdez Scantling, and that other guy.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. That is a fair point. Yeah, I had Keenan Allen as number 5 for me.
I had at least Hopkins, Cooper, Evans.
There's a lot, right? There's a lot that you could pick here, so you got to pick somebody, Daniel.
Okay, Hopkins.
I can get to break the stalemate. I can hop on board that train. I can hop aboard that train.
Okay. So what's
Give me
our 5? What's our 5? The Sports Reverends top 5 receivers. I don't know if I
Michael
want to
Thomas?
publish this.
Michael
I don't
Thomas, Julio Jones,
Okay.
Godwin, and then was it
Parker.
Devontae Parker.
and then DeAndre Hopkins.
This
Yeah,
makes me sick.
I think we might have Parker a little too high.
That's a little bit high, guys. But
That's okay. That's the whole point, though, is to have something that people can talk about.
I'm
I
very
think you're gonna
upset.
toss up a Insta poll later, right?
Yeah, we'll hit up an Insta poll. Maybe we'll put up one on our website as well. Drew, why don't you share with us the expected top 5 fantasy receivers this year, fantasy football receivers?
All right, so
You guys can start preparing for your
at number
leagues.
1. At number 1, Michael Thomas. So
Ooh.
we're right. We're right.
Yeah.
Number 2, Tyreek Hill.
Oh,
So Dan was right. Number 3, you all laughed at me, but Davante Adams.
yeah.
He's fantasy wise
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Julio Jones at number 4.
Oh.
And DeAndre Hopkins, number 5.
All right.
That DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray is gonna be fun though. Come on, Larry Fitzgerald in there.
That's the thing. Like Fitzgerald would run those under routes, right?
So many dreadlocks. It's gonna be great.
That's one thing though. Fitzgerald's been playing for forever.
Oh yeah.
It's unreal what that guy's doing.
It's like
I think
Frank Gore.
he's actually not that far behind Jerry Rice in reception yards.
Really?
Which is pretty crazy. I think it's like 2,000 still, but like I think he's 2,000 ahead of the person in third, whoever that is.
Let me just take a quick look here.
Yeah, take a look, babe. So that's pretty good. Drew.
Yeah, he's more than 2,000, Daniel.
Is he more than
Gary
2,000?
Rice has got 22,895.
Yeah.
Fitzgerald has 17,003.
Oh. 5,000 less. Yikes.
When I said Jerry Rice, I was correct.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
Go on.
Or was that his quarterbacks that made him so great? Who knows?
Who knows?
He played with some pretty good quarterbacks.
Some pretty legendary guys.
Dude still got the run the routes.
Okay, guys. Before we get anywhere else, I'm ad-libbing here. We're going to talk just a moment of NBA. The couple proposed ideas of what they want for the NBA. The reseeding of the top 16 teams going right into a playoff, basically having a couple exhibition games. Or they've talked about having all 30 teams split up in World Cup style in a few divisions, have them play their exhibition games, and then take the top 20 still after all the records and have the playoff that way, which I thought was interesting, and or just doing it regular, having all 30 teams just play out a few games and then get into just the top 16 for the playoffs. My one thought is that they're definitely the teams need 6 more games to get to 70 on the schedule. That will give the TV revenue money to go through for the owners, and that will also, I think, help with their contracts and all that stuff going forward in the future. That's why I think it's important for the 6 games to be played for all 30 teams. But how would you guys want this to come out? Do you guys want the reseeding of the top 16 teams? Doesn't matter which conference. Would you like a World Cup style, or would you just keep it regular the way we know how it goes?
If it was up to me, I'd do something closer to the NHL format.
Okay.
I like the idea of some playing games. Dame Lillard has said he's not going to play if the games don't mean anything, which is, I kind of get where he's coming from. I get both sides of that argument, but I really like the way the NHL has kind of structured that, because you get some preseason games or back to school games, you want to call them. You get the first section of the playoffs, then right to the division leaders, right? I think that's going to create a bit of mystery into who's moving forward versus just a straight 16-team draw. The only downside is the more games you have, the longer it's going to take. And if you're going to have only one hub, it's going to make it very difficult for players to be away from their families for so long. And that's going to cause some issues and concerns. Like we saw with Dennis Rodman, the dude just up and left in the middle of a playoff run. Who's to say guys these days will be like, you know what? I'm feeling okay. I want to go see my wife. I want to see my side piece, whatever the case may be, and break the contamination bubble that way. Right?
There are talks. Adam Silver has mentioned about having immediate family with their team member, with each team player.
There's not enough accommodation. That's the thing.
I think
Disney
World can accommodate 53,000 people.
Yeah, but the problem is everybody's used to having 5-star excellent service. There's only X amount of places you can get that, and which teams do you allocate that to?
I'm pretty sure they could figure it out.
About that. That's all I'm saying.
Pretty sure they could figure it out. And if they're gonna whine about having a 4.5 star than a 5-star, I could care less. Because come on, let's just get some basketball. Drew, what are your thoughts? Which one do you have?
I'd probably like to see the reseeding, like take out the conferences, just so we get a different look at a finals. Maybe get I don't know if there'd be a possibility for the Lakers Clippers final, but I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, the way it lines up, that's what it would be.
What it looks like, yeah.
Or it could be Bucks Raptors in the finals, or
Yeah, I think that'd be cool because we've seen the West dominate the last couple of years, and we know that the Western teams are a lot better, and I think it gives it a way to get it balances out a bit more.
So it'd be 10 Western teams and 6 East teams.
Well, I think this is part of the complaint that we've had similar in hockey, where they've changed up the division format and who plays who in the first round, and we've had our best series sometimes happen in the first round.
Right.
Like Boston and Toronto have faced each other the last couple of years. That's more of that feels like a conference final sort of matchup to me anyways. But I think it'd be cool to see the reseeding and see West come out probably.
Yeah, that'd be super fun. It'd be really fun and good. That's just like the best basketball you can find. I would like to see the World Cup style. I want to see the divisions. That's a way they can get they play their division teams to get their games in, get the 6 games in, whatever it is. And then you can either take the top 20 or top 16 and do a playoff that way. And but if they're going to do top 16, I'm with you, Drew. Let's do the best 16 teams and let's go for it. I think it's going to be super fun.
Here's just a random thought. Laker Clipper finals. If Kawhi wins a third MVP with a third team, where do we rank him?
Has that ever happened before?
No. So if LeBron wins, also he would be the first one to do that.
Right. Does that change your perception of these players? I think the LeBron discussion is different because he's been to so many finals and lost so many. I think that he needs to win to help cement his legacy. If Kawhi wins a third and 3, like that's just
It'd be 3 out of 4 for Kawhi, but 3 in different teams, 3 Finals MVPs.
I don't know.
It's pretty legendary.
Yeah, it's a great run on that. But yeah, I think LeBron needs this Finals win more than anybody else at this point.
To cement his legacy?
I think so.
Even if he wins, is he going to pass Michael Jordan?
I don't think you can have a satisfactory answer to that because I will always pick Michael over Jordan or Michael over LeBron, regardless. There's no way you're going to convince me otherwise, and that's because I'm a Jordan baby.
But what if LeBron wins 3 more?
Don't care. He lost too many, disappeared in the finals, lost to Dirk by himself.
If LeBron won at the age of 35, 36, and 37, that is pretty incredible. So
I think we have to wait and see who, even if the Lakers win, who is carrying that team at the end, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because even in Cleveland, like it was Kyrie that hit the big shot, right?
Yeah. And it's already arguable that Anthony Davis is kind of their best player right now.
How much is LeBron opening things up for him?
Yeah, it varies on night to night, but when LeBron wants to, LeBron gets up for some games.
Yeah,
for sure. And like I always go to is the defensive end. Like Davis has been a beast this year on the defensive end.
His PR is through the roof.
So that's been pretty good.
Samara & Jane is an Australian-based accessories retailer with all of the latest fashion trends from around the world. Ladies, update your style game with gorgeous earrings, necklaces, and other jewelry for affordable prices. And guys, you can shop for that special lady in your life too. Use discount code SPORTSREV30 for 30% off your entire order. That's SPORTSREV30 for 30% off your entire order. Use discount code at checkout at samaraandjane.com.
Okay, guys, let's end this way. I wanted to end with something a little different, and I wanted to know, what is your favorite sports movie of all time, and why?
I can go first. I have a dumb little story about mine, so I can briefly explain that to you. So JV basketball, we are little school going against the big provincial schools, and
are you coaching or playing?
I'm playing. Scott Billick, if you're listening, this is about you. So let's have at her.
He's a writer for the Winnipeg Sun.
Free press
for the Jets.
Yeah, he does some good work. We're about to go play Oak Park, and Coach Jansen shows us the movie Hoosiers, about this little school in Timbuktu, Kentucky, or Kansas, or somewhere in
Indiana.
Indiana, that's right, Indiana.
Come on now.
Great start to the story.
And we watch it, and it's supposed to inspire us. And we go out to play Oak Park, and we just get destroyed. Like, just absolutely just wiped the floor with. Next year, I'm in grade 10. We're going to play Oak Park again. I think this year, at that time, Scott had come to LCS. And Jansen shows the same movie. And for the first half, we hung around. Second half, we just got wiped the floor with. So I'll always have a fond memory for Hoosiers in my sports TV watching movie.
So, like, it's a sad memory. How is that your favorite movie?
It's just something that sticks with me.
Okay.
I love it. I love the idea.
You learned a lot because of that movie, right?
A lot of humility has come that way.
A lot of lessons learned is what those people that lose take for lessons. So, okay, Drew, what's your favorite sports movie?
This was a hard one for me. Like, I'd say Glory Road is up there.
No.
Yeah.
That's my favorite movie.
Or well, I can pick a different one then because I had
pick
two.
A different one.
Okay, my favorite is 42, the Jackie Robinson story.
Nice.
I think the acting is top notch in that movie too.
Yeah, it's really good.
But I love that movie.
What about A League of Our Own?
I honestly have never seen it. Like, so I don't know.
Joel likes $1 Million Arm as well.
That could
I
have
love-
been Daniel. That
I'm
could have
sorry?
been.
That could have been us. Could have been us. Come on.
That's right.
We went and watched that the night before my wedding. in the
Yes,
movie
we
theater.
did. Yes,
Yeah.
we did. Jordan
$1
Jeans.
Million Arm with CMC.
Yes. Shout out CMC. I love Glory Road, and I like it because it's based off true story. Don Haskins, and what a story! I probably watch that at least once a year. So
Wow.
that's mine. So yeah, guys, that's great.
Did anybody
guys-
see the Ben Affleck movie, the basketball movie? No.
Didn't
What?
even know he was in a
It was
basketball
a
movie.
new one. He just dropped it, I think.
There's a new Ben Affleck basketball movie.
Yeah.
I am shocked. I haven't heard of that.
Okay. I saw.
That's our new Monday topic.
All right, we know what we're talking about Monday.
Yeah, MJ Mondays.
MJ Mondays. All right, guys, it's another great show. Excited for what we got in store. Hope you got a lot of good stuff going on this weekend. Enjoy the sun. Thank you to all our listeners for tuning in and subscribing and following all of our social medias and all that. Up on our Instagram poll, we're gonna have an Instagram poll about who's their top wide receiver for the NFL. I'm gonna put a little form on our website. If you fill that form out, that'd be fantastic, and we'll get back to you, and it's going to be a good time. So let's see what you guys hear and think, because I really do not like our top 5 wide receivers that we chose. So tell us what we did wrong, and I'm sure they're good answers.
Like and subscribe, baby.
Like and subscribe. We'll see you guys later. Say goodbye, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.